This is the beginning of the episode. Episode, I don't know what number. If I did, it probably wouldn't be this kind of podcast. I don't know what number this is. I'm not sure. But this is definitely the beginning of some number. I think we're in the 40s. We may have breached the 50s, but it's somewhere in the 40s and 50s, the number of this episode. Let's go. Let's talk about. I have a point of contention that I want to talk about immediately. I feel this is a discussion from our chat group that people are messaging Mike to get coaching calls, and people are fucking messaging Chad to get coaching calls, but no one messages me. And I don't know if it's because of the way I display myself or my personality. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I want some advice, but I think what we will offer to our regular listeners, and you're going to have to follow our Instagram account to find out when this offer is. We are going to offer an episode where Mike and Chad, not me, because we all know no one is interested in what I have to say, will provide coaching live on the air in an episode. You can come and those two will coach you, and I will sit quietly and mind my business. I'm just saying.
You're also the one who runs the largest landscape business of the three of us. You know, like you probably generate the most revenue of all three of us. I find it hard to believe that nobody wants coaching from you.
Nobody wants. In order to want coaching from someone, I believe you have to want to run a business similar to theirs. And maybe I haven't displayed our business as a business that someone else would want to run. I don't know. Just saying.
I've said it before. I always wanted a trucking company. So maybe you can coach me live on air.
Maybe you're the only person that has ever inquired about coaching. I can tell you the deck crowd has never inquired about coaching with me.
No.
I think it's a great idea to have some of our listeners that have inquired and might be interested in the two of you doing some coaching with them, to have maybe give them 10-minute blocks on an episode or something. We could line them up one after another, and you guys can
line them up and knock them down.
I'll just sit back, take notes, won't give any commentary or coaching on these calls. I will just take notes and sit around not knowing my numbers.
We'll hear Mike in the background just like laugh hysterically at the advice we give. That's bullshit. Comments like that.
I never said Go ahead. Oh, I'm just saying I never. That's so.
No, you really go ahead. Go ahead.
I never once said that you guys didn't have good advice. I said I was a little bit phased that no one's inquiring for my advice, but is more than happy to get your two advice. That's all. I never said that you guys didn't have great coaching advice. I'm just saying that no one inquired for mine. Or maybe people call me and I just give it all away for free, so they know I'll never charge, and you two are smarter than me.
You gave it all away at the yellow Congress booth.
Yeah, for free.
All the wisdom you had, you left it on the floor out there.
People know that they can just get the advice from you for free. They just wait for the next Congress, right?
They're waiting for the next. Everyone's sitting around waiting for the next Congress
or the next skid steer safety video.
Yeah,
that's my point of contention, that no one wants my advice.
No.
Or maybe I've just been on social media for so fucking long, blathering with my mouth, talking, that I have nothing left to give. It's all out there. How many posts have you made on you? Like I was actually looking at this today, just out of interest. Like, on my Paver King account, I would still maintain I'm the only one of the three of us that uses their main account for this fucking thing.
Yeah.
You two had to create side accounts. Got a little side action. Don't want to use the main account. I get it. Side. I've made 3,769 posts on my Instagram account.
Ever?
That's wild.
Like,
no,
and that's not including stories. That's just posts that are on my like, if you go to my whatever you call it, my profile page.
How long?
My profile.
How long have you been doing that?
I don't know.
I'm fairly late to the Instagram and social media in general, because I never really had personal social media. But if you're listening to this and you want that coaching live on the podcast, reach out to paver_king, shoot him a message, let him know that you want that so that we know we should set that up. So live coaching on the Not Our Finest Hour podcast. If you're interested in that and being actually on the show, shoot paver_king a message. But Mike, how long have you been doing Instagram?
I think almost since it started. So when did it start?
I have no idea. It used to be a whiskey app.
A what?
A whiskey app.
Oh, I a long time. I know what my first post was because I've cycled all the way back. Like it takes an hour to get like. How many posts do you have on yours, Chad?
I've had just over 2,000, I think.
Wow.
But 2011. I've been in it since the start, though. Like, I think I signed up I don't know, early on. And there were some like big landscapers early on. Well, I mean, now I wouldn't be able to tell you who they are, but like,
Oh, I can.
oh yeah,
The first, I remember the first kind of group, like guys. There was Ryan's Landscaping from the
that's
state.
the one that he had like a blue and yellow or something like that, and he was doing all these fucking jobs I'd never seen before, and that's when I thought, like, you know what, I really got to get my act together and do some work like this. And
Big Polly from Stone Creations,
yeah, okay.
in New York. The Techo Block account or Block Techo, whatever. It was one of the original like people on Instagram I remember I used to deal with. Louis from Louis Landscaping.
Yeah.
Joe from All Access Construction in California.
Yeah.
They were all guys.
Yeah.
Joe builds all those crazy retaining walls and shit.
Those concrete walls, eh?
Yeah, all those concrete walls.
Yeah.
There's Ryan.
So that Ryan guy.
Backyard Retreats. Remember Backyard Retreats? And he was the first one that really pushed 3D on Instagram that I remember.
Yeah, that's a ride. That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Probably 10 years ago.
At least. Oh.
Maybe.
Oh, more than that.
More than that?
Yeah.
So Instagram started 2010, it says.
So
I think maybe I was 2014, maybe.
Whatever happened to that Ryan's Landscape guy? Didn't he?
He started posting again on that account.
On that account? I thought he
started coming back in
a company or something like that.
He did. He started a different one called Dreamscape Outdoors. And then he used that account for quite a while. And then he started posting on the Ryan's Landscaping account. And balls to him, because the Ryan's Landscaping account, when he switched companies, he didn't use that account, and it had like 15,000 followers, and it would have been pretty easy to wipe it out and just start again with an account with 15,000 followers and just change the name. But he didn't. He started a whole new account. So
has anyone done an interview with that guy? Like, is
Ryan?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm friends with him on my actual Facebook page, like
Really?
my personal one. Yeah, he's a good guy. I met him at one of the Techo Block showcases when we went to the States. I think he's from Pennsylvania, so it would have been one of the ones in Pennsylvania. We went to Hartford, Pennsylvania, someplace in Pennsylvania. We went to King of Prussia in Philly. That was when we went to. That one's fucking awesome. King of Prussia one. It's like in a casino or something, or I don't know if they still do it.
Is that a place?
Yeah, it's called King of Prussia.
That's the name of the city?
Yeah.
No way.
They don't fuck around in Philly, bro. It's like a suburb of Philly. Yeah.
I'm stuck over here in Cornwall. Why can't we get a name like King of something over here?
I'm telling you, King of Prussia, man. Where are you from? The Prussia. Not only like even the whole like the King of like the whole thing is cool. Every part of it.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick. Yeah, I've been doing this a long time. Yeah, I have almost 4,000 posts, well, 3,776 posts or whatever. That's you scroll back, there's a lot of shit on there. Like, thought about pulling up some of the old videos and reposting them and stuff. There's a lot of stuff. I remember when it was you could literally just put up a picture.
Yeah.
I had my Twitter account at least 2 or 3 years before my Instagram account.
I never had a Twitter for business.
If you, that's like a post a day if it's 10 years old, your account.
Yeah, I try to post something every day.
That's awesome.
Not when you're shadow
Impressive.
banned. Not when you're shadow banned at 19.8. It's not awesome. I've thought about that a lot because like my account, I guess for the amount I've been on here and the amount of stuff I've posted is, I feel like probably pretty small in the grand scheme of things. But also, it's my account is like incredibly specific to one audience, right?
Yeah, yeah, very specific.
Like,
So
like
in the grand scheme of things, it's actually got a pretty good audience considering it's quite specifically appealing to contractors and quite specifically in the hardscape landscape space.
yeah, yeah. It's only like the humor that's on it. I think a lot of it. Okay, so I think the stuff is funny. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But it's the only there's like very particular people who would think it was funny. Most people look at it and be like, I don't know why a deck collapsing and somebody writing "fuck yeah" is funny. Like, but I think it's anyways. I think it's okay for the amount of. Maybe that's why I don't get any Instagram coaching calls.
So I have a question. Is there a difference between a coach and a guru? Is there a
Yes.
notable difference? Or are we lumping them all in the same boat?
I I think so. I think the difference between a coach and a guru is that most of the time, the person who wants coaching, I haven't seen anyone doing Instagram posts to try to feed people in the top of their coaching funnel. It's usually to join some kind of group or gang or some kind of
Yeah.
course or university or
Okay.
like I'm just saying, like to me, I think most people that are looking for coaching are probably sourcing out the coach themselves, not the coach sourcing people into a funnel. That's my opinion,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know if that's accurate, but
So then that's like coaching without advertising. Gurus are coaches without, or gurus are coaches that advertise.
I think most gurus are, I guess, maybe doing it for their job.
Yeah. So coaching is a side gig. You figure.
Well, maybe not. I okay. I don't know about this whole difference.
I think personally, I think a guru is somebody who thinks that they know all the answers and are able to give people answers.
Maybe.
Whereas a coach, a good coach, not a guru disguised as a coach, actually pulls answers out of people. So, because if you are a guru telling people this is what you need to do, you're not leading them to what's best for them. You're leading them to what you think is best. You're putting your ideals onto them, right? But a good coach asks questions to pull the answer out of you. So if I was getting coaching advice from Chad, I would be asking questions to Chad, and Chad would be asking back to me questions to pull the answer out of me, essentially.
Okay, so we're just asking questions.
Do you think that a coach is more specifically trying to get you to build the business that you want and help you get to where you want, and a guru is telling you how to build a business that would make them happy?
Yes.
I think a coach talks to you, a guru talks at you.
That's good. That's deep, Jeff. We should just shut this episode down now.
That's it.
Chad's done. He's out. He
Chad's left the chat.
Chad,
if I had a microphone, I'd drop it, but it's not compatible with my computer. So, no, I think the real thing, and everybody's sort of afraid to say it, is we know who the real coaches are and who we'd maybe give our money to, or whose knowledge is worth paying for. And we know who the gurus are because they're just full of shit. Right. And I think between the three of us, the guru is sort of a joke. And they don't necessarily know that they're a joke.
Or they don't care.
or they don't care.
Is
Yeah.
that lack of self-awareness? Is that, or it's got to be a combination of different things, but what do you think that is? That,
You're talking about with a guru?
yeah, I guess somebody,
I think a
I
guru is
don't
doing
know.
it for financial gain.
Yeah,
And when you're doing something purely for financial gain, like
nothing else matters.
it doesn't, yeah, you become, as long as there's enough people paying you, what do you care what other people are saying about you?
True.
Like I think that it's someone who's mostly doing it purely for financial gain, not for. I guess everyone's going to do that kind of stuff for financial. I mean, except for me, obviously, I'm too stupid to do it for financial gain. But I think that everyone would be doing it for some kind of financial gain. So that's a bad, maybe a bad reference. But
So how do you deduce which ones? Because they'll all say, "I do this for other people," right? They'll never come out and say, I'm doing this because I want to make a lot of money." They'll say, "I want to help people," or I do this for people, not for me," right? So how do you deduce which ones are being honest about their altruism, which I don't think pure altruism exists, and which ones are just slimy and you should stay away from?
I don't. I don't know. I don't know. It's like you don't know. You don't ever know who is actually a Nigerian prince and who is pretending to be a Nigerian prince.
How much
It's
money have you
hard.
dropped on Nigerian princess? Like,
It's hard to tell. Or you don't know. One time, my email. Okay. One time, my email got hacked. There's a whole story to how that happened, but my email got hacked because I was with the kids on the subway and distracted, and I got this email, and it was when I worked at Ridge Lake, and it was my work email, and I opened an email I knew was bad, and then I was like, fuck. But because I was with the kids and we were downtown and we were getting on, and just as we got on the subway, and it was like an outdoor platform, I hit it, and then it sent. And I was like, oh my God, shit. And by the time I could get back on the internet, because I was in the fucking subway, my whole email was hacked.
wow.
And they didn't take over my email. They didn't try to steal it, but all they did was send an email to every person I had dealt with, including the two Garths, or maybe just the one Garth. It was a single Garth situation, not a double Garth situation. But it was around the same time as Garth because I remember he responded to the email. They sent an email to everybody that said that I was trapped in the Ukraine, which is kind of funny now. I get not funny because I get, but just because the Ukraine is in the news a lot. I was trapped in the Ukraine, and I had lost all my money, and I needed them to send me $5,000 so I could get home from the Ukraine. And so I got a bunch of emails saying, you've been hacked, you've been hacked, you get 500 emails from people saying you've been hacked. And I was like, yes, thank you, I've been hacked. But our fencing contractor called me. Mike, like, yeah, what's up? He's like, do you need me to send you money? I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
That's the
Like,
kind of guy you want on your team. That fencing guy.
Yeah.
I said to him, you think that if I'm in trouble, deep trouble in my life, like deep, deep trouble, that the person that I'm going to reach out to help is the fencing sub? I said, sorry, bro, I'm tighter with the irrigation dude. If I'm fucked up in the Ukraine and can't get home, I always go irrigation first, never fencing. Like, what are you talking? It's like, dude, I'm trapped. Fuck, I should reach out to the fencing guy. He's the one that'll save my ass in a foreign country. Like, anyway, that was, I don't remember what we were talking about when we got on that topic, but
Did
fake
you get your
gurus.
email back?
Yeah, they didn't even take the email. They just sent it all and then they disappeared and I changed it and that was the end of it. They just wanted to send out that one, I guess.
One of these days, someone's going to come knocking and ask for their $5,000 back. They're going to know that you're back in Canada.
Probably. That was like 10 years ago now, I guess.
Wow.
At least. Maybe not 10, maybe 9, 8, 9. Kids were little. So you had to pay attention to where they were and what they were doing. It's kind of, I think I had like some kind of foggy parent brain when that happened to me. I got hacked. I was like, oh crap.
Uh,
What were we talking about? Like finding the fake guru?
yeah. Maybe you just need a good bullshit meter.
I yeah,
Because
I don't.
obviously a guru doesn't exist if they're not getting any people in their funnel, right?
I think some gurus on the landscaping side right now exist even though they have no people in their funnel because they just want to be self-important.
Hmm.
Some of the shit that people send me now of these fucking people, I've never followed them. I don't know who they are, and they're like, join our university, and I'm like, how many like is the market not oversaturated, or maybe multiple people belong to multiple gurus? If
A
you're
web
in,
of gurus.
well, if you're a believer in the guru, is it possible to follow more than one?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
I have very low buy-in on any kind of shit that someone's screaming at me, so I
Yeah.
think it could be this. Maybe that's how I get to where I am. Because if someone's screaming something at me, I'm always just like, yeah, I don't believe this shit, and I write it off. But maybe if I'd paid greater attention to people who were trying to teach me things, I'd be in a better place. I don't know. I find it's interesting with all the gurus that there's no one ever posting about how amazing this guru is and how much this guru changed their life. With
Yeah. No testimonial for
the amount of guruing that goes on, you think there'd be like 1,000 Instagram posts about this guru changed my life with positive vibrations.
So the smart thing that a guru will do is within their program, they will have a section. Say they have like a progression, almost like a course where you had to go through with this guru. At one of those stages, they will have you actually do a video testimonial for their program before you can move on to the next module. So they'll frame it as if trying to get you out of your comfort zone in front of the camera because that's important for running your business, to be on social media and stuff. So what we're going to have you do is we're going to have you give you a video testimonial of our program, and then they'll use that as marketing.
wow.
Perfect.
Huh.
So that's actually why you see a lot of things about Andrew Tate. That's how he actually popped off, is within his program. He had people do that. And then within that also is the affiliate model where they sign people up and they get a commission for that. And then it just between his personality and what he was saying, and that is why he exploded.
And then
But
got taken down by Greta.
One tweet at a time.
One tweet at a time.
but I haven't seen any viral videos or viral posts about somebody ranting and raving about a guru's program.
But do you think the landscape guruing is too new?
Nobody's graduated from the first
No one's
step.
like they're still.
What you're saying.
Yeah, well, no, maybe they haven't gotten to the recorded video about how amazing they are yet, because a lot of these gurus just launched off this year, this winter.
There's no fast track program, expedited program.
Maybe
there's no money in an expedited program. They need to draw that out.
Well, yeah. But on the flip side, as we see the rise of the guru, the three of us have assumed that a lot of people are signing up for the guru. But the reality of the situation is maybe no one signed up for the guru. These people are still just spouting off. So I have personally messaged at least 5 or 6 of these people that I would consider to be hardscape gurus, and none of them have messaged me back to join their program. So maybe the gurus aren't very efficient at getting people into the program, or they know who I am, and they're like, "This guy's reputation
precedes you."
Maybe 5 gurus have turned me down. 5. If there's a guru listening to this, I have about 10K I need to waste right now. So please sign me up. Like I got about 10K I'm looking to blow right now. Can you just sign me up so that I can lose this 10K? Like, well, I mean, maybe though landscapers are smarter than the average bear, and not many people sign up for they. I feel like the landscape community as a whole is probably looking at these people going, Jesus fuck. You want me to give you my last $20,000? If I have no food, you want me to give you my last $20,000 so you can teach me to buy food? I think the average landscape contractor is like, you know how hard it is to get $20,000, motherfucker? I'll go buy some food at the 7-Eleven. I sustain myself on pepperonis and pizza that's cooked in-house at Circle K. Like, I'm not giving you my 20 grand. I know how to get my own food.
Yeah.
Maybe the landscape community is not desperate enough for the guru.
Yeah.
I get a lot of messages from people saying, not looking for coaching, but saying that they all hate the gurus too. So, I mean, maybe guruing will, there'll be a new trend for us to discuss and bash next winter.
Once all the gurus have starved.
Yeah. I guess it depends on their goals.
Well,
How many people have given them 20 grand for food? Well, to teach them how to get food. You can order food on your fucking phone from Viola. You don't need someone to teach you. You can order it. They bring it to your door. You don't even have to go anywhere. I think that this is not the real reference they were making when they were saying that. I'm just really breaking it down here. So,
Gotcha.
but they don't need a guru to teach them where to get food. Every day you posted a pizza review and a juice review. Like you are the food guru.
I am the food. I am a guru of crap. Well, I also made the poutine out of what was it? It was out of pepperonis, hot sauce, and some. I don't remember what I put on
Like a
it.
prison poutine.
Yeah, well, it was a landscaper poutine. It was pepperonis, hot sauce, and I don't remember what I used as the cheese. Something cheesies. I used like Cheetos. It was
Yeah.
it was pepperonis. It's a video. I made the whole recipe. I prepared it on the fender of a truck.
Nice.
Ah, people loved it.
We used to have a guy. Well, we still do have a guy. And if we're ever going someplace far out of town, like we'll take the 5-seater dump truck or the 6-seater dump truck, and we'll all head up together. And this guy has something different that stinks every morning. Like one day he'll have like boiled eggs, and the other day he'll have like a fish sandwich. And
Perfect.
like he gets scolded by the rest of the guys every day, but every day is something new that smells. It's I don't
You
know.
got to get him on the Cheetos.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing gets you going in the morning like orange dye. Like you can pound a Red Bull, you'll feel it. But eat a bag of Cheetos at 5:45 in the morning, man, that orange dye will start coursing through your veins, whatever chemicals are in that. That gets you moving hard and fast. Did you get any questions, Mike, on your thing?
Yeah, I have actually a few really good ones.
Oh, I didn't get very many because I'm not very popular anymore. So let's go with Mike's questions.
We got some in the Not Our Finest Hour one, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Yeah. Do we start it off with the How to Hardscape ones?
Sure.
All right, since we're on the topic, Inca_Stone asks, name 3 legit gurus.
Legit?
Yeah, now this gets into a slippery slope because if we identify legit gurus, then we're leaving people out, and then people might assume these are unlegit gurus, and we could affect the unlegit gurus' businesses.
Are we talking about landscape gurus or any gurus?
I guess any gurus. That could save us a little bit here.
Oh, that saves us a lot. You can tell that I've backed myself in a corner a few times.
Yeah, you thought about this.
Instantaneously, how are we getting out of this? I wasn't specific about landscape gurus. Specific gurus.
Who do you guys look or who do you guys listen to or look up to or try to take advice from?
Here's the thing for me. a guru is not a positive thing.
Okay.
Right? So gurus to me are the snake oil salesman. Like a coach or a business advisor is the actual real deal. And to me, a guru is a sham. Right? That's just the connotations that I have in my own head. Um,
Was that developed before this podcast or
yes,
after our
always. Like that's
okay.
always been
Okay.
how it is. That's why it's so easy to poke fun at the guru
Yeah.
because you know they're full of shit, right? Um,
So I agree with you 100% that I think the word guru to me just brings a negative connotation to any business, any person, anyone who's teaching anything. I don't care if you're an evangelist or a landscape guru or a financial guru or a health guru or a yoga guru. I think as soon as you start, it becomes your business instead of like it's your bit. You're in the guru business. I don't think I think any of them are. They might have been legit at one time or had some legit piece of advice, but I think that the external pressure of keeping the machine moving becomes bigger than the actual teachings of whatever you're doing. Because when you start traveling around, there's an inherent cost to that, and you have to pack those. And that's, I think, where people start to make it's the same with any business where people start to make bad decisions. There's just like if you have a lot of iron sitting around your yard and you need it to move, like today at the yard, I was at the yard today, and of course it's like absolutely pouring rain all day. So we have a fuck ton of iron sitting around the yard doing nothing. That makes me feel like I need to go find a job and makes me insecure about our business. Now, mind you, it's February 9th and we got 40 mil of rain today, and there's a totally legit reason. But just looking at the iron makes me feel insecure, and that leads me to a bad decision. So if you're a guru and you have to put 10,000 people in the seats and you only have 5,000, how far are you willing to go to fill those other 5,000? I think that when it becomes your business, that's when things go downhill.
So I've got a different thought process on that. But does that make legit guru, like in the question, does that make that an oxymoron? Because
yes.
legit connotates positive
Yes.
and guru connotates negative. So there's our answer to the question. That gets us out of answering the question. There's no such thing as a legit guru.
Okay.
But my thought process on gurus is if I was after somebody, I guess that kind of delineates like coaching versus guruship, but I would want my guru to be full-time guru, but have a past in what I want them to guru me on, in a successful past, not like they ran out of business and they had to close down their business.
You want a
Because
consultant?
I guess that would be more so a consultant,
Yeah.
but I would want them to be all in on that.
Yeah. A full-time
Specifically.
consultant. I think that's maybe we're just playing a word game, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe
It's all about
these all-
definitions, right? Consultant,
Yeah.
coach, guru. What do you consider each of these?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want, like, if they have their foot in guruship and they have their foot in their business, I would assume that because guruship brings about a higher profit margin, less overhead and everything, that they're propping up their business with their guruship.
So
Especially if they're really flashy about their business and everything that their business does and everything like that, and shows off a bunch of different equipment and blah blah blah. That's where my question comes into play. So that's why I would want them to be all in on guruship with a successful past in operating their business. Yeah.
Like the question, who do I think is a legitimate guru, is hard for me to answer because I've never seeked a guru.
Right.
So like if I've never seeked, like I watch a lot of stuff and be like, well, that's total crap. Or why, like you could get that information from reading a basic book.
Yes.
Or taking a basic business course at your community college at night. You could, like, people are like, well, how did you learn estimating? I'm like, I went to the local community college and took estimating. I have like a whatever you call it, community college degree in estimating. That's how I learned to really properly do drawings and formulate a proper estimate and all the stuff that I didn't just start doing. I mean, it was all on a pen and paper. There was no fucking computers, but a long time ago. But still, like that's how I didn't know how to do it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to be an estimator, and then once I took the estimating course, realized I fucking hate estimating. Like I hate it. It's like you got to have a certain mindset to love it, and I just like I think that I've never I've never believed that there was someone who could lead me down the garden path. I have had lots of friends, past and present, that I'll call if I have different things that I'm thinking about doing. And I have like I know that doesn't answer his question, because if he doesn't have those people to call, if he doesn't have that community, then who, like, he's searching for his guru to bring him all the answers. But I don't know if there is. I don't think there is one. In my opinion, there's not one place to get all the answers. You have to go to multiple sources.
It's all about context too, right? And you can get an amazing piece of advice from a different industry and then apply it to your industry, which would maybe be better than actually getting advice within your industry. If that makes sense.
It does. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Is Tony Robbins a legit guru?
That gets into definitions, right? Like legit.
He's got he's got a million. He's got millions of people there.
Yeah.
Robbinsing it out, jumping into cold water every morning.
My least favorite guru is the self-help guru, and I think I've said that before on this podcast. That's like Tony Robbins and all that. But I guess maybe people would consider Gary Vee a guru, but he's somebody that I listened to a lot when I first started business in general. I would say if he's a guru, a legit guru.
So he has an interesting business model, because he always talks about how he's giving away all the information for free.
Yeah.
Except that he's not flying across the world to give those, what do they call it when he's the closing speaker at an event? Keynote.
Yeah.
He's charging 500 grand to do a keynote.
Oh yeah.
So he's not giving away the information. Like, as much as he perpetuates the idea that he's giving away information for free, and he's all about how the more you give out for free, the more will come back to you. He's giving out information, doing a keynote, getting $500,000. Mm-hmm. That's not doing it for free. That's my only difficulty with him, is that he lies bold-faced every time he talks.
There's another thing he does where he has people come to his office and they have to pay, it used to be 25 grand just to meet with him for 5 minutes and to pitch them their idea. And if he, not necessarily to pitch them the idea, but to get advice from him. And he would either say his piece for 5 minutes and then they're gone, or he would say, hey, you know what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to get you the right connections. I'm going to give you back your 25 grand. You don't need to pay me that, but I want this percentage of your company and I'm going to help you out. So that was his model for a long, long time there. I don't know if he's still doing that, but I'm assuming he would be.
He's still not giving away, like, every time that guy says, I'm giving out this information for free, he's lying to you. And that's why I just struggle with. I like him, and I think he's got a lot of good information, and I have listened and watched a ton of his stuff. But at the very core of his being, he's a liar. His entire persona is built on a massive lie.
But you can build those mental hoops if you're in his position to say, hey, I'm doing it for free. It's just like I know.
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, he's at a keynote preaching to all those people how he does all this stuff for free, getting paid. And all of them are sitting in the audience eating it up. And then they're all going to go out and do all this shit for free and not get paid. And I like him. I like a lot of what he has to say, but it's the other thing too, is if you obsessively talk about something, like he obsessively talks about his father's business and how he got nothing from it, there's only one reason to obsessively talk about that. Because the more you obsessively talk about something, the more it will become accepted as the truth.
Yeah, I like that one.
He created his own truth there.
Yeah.
I left this business. I walked away from a $60 million a year business with nothing. I never made a penny from it. You're telling me you never got paid the whole time you worked for your father? You're telling me when your father's business grew to $45 million a year, you weren't collecting a salary from it? Because that's how he portrays it, that he did it all for free and never got paid. And he says it over and over and over again. And he drives that point home. And if someone says something like that, as much as he says it, I believe he's trying to create the truth, not live the truth.
He also produces a lot of content to the point where it needs to be repeating things again and again with the amount of stuff that he's pushing out there.
Yes, I agree. He has some good advice. I think he has good advice. It's just at the end of the day, I analyze every person who's spouting off like that.
Yeah.
I spend hordes of time analyzing that stuff. And I'm like, okay, I like what this guy has to say. He has some good advice, but I always take it with a grain of salt because he's a liar.
You can listen to like maybe 5 hours of the right Gary V content and have everything you would need ever from him.
I agree. Yeah. I used to listen to for about a month. I listened to a lot of his stuff, and then I got okay. I'm burned out with hearing about the fucking wine store.
Yeah,
like I can't hear about this one because he plays keynote after keynote after keynote on his podcast and stuff, or all the many different channels, and it's the same keynote talking about the same things. And I'm like, dude, like, but I get why he's doing it because he tells you need to the of those 3,769 posts on my account, I bet there's less than 10 that are a repeat post. Only recently have I started like that fuck yeah one that I reposted today with the deck falling. That's a repeat post from 2 years ago. And I was waiting for someone to call me out on it and be like, I've already seen this. But people look at so much shit. They actually, and I was like, okay, that's a lesson from that guy. I could probably go back to my 3,000th post and post them all again, and no one would remember them.
Yeah.
Like, but most of my content is original. I put out a different thing all the time. I don't repeat things. I don't.
No, I rehash old stuff all the time. All the time.
You're a disciple of Gary V.
That's just me. Yeah, that's it. But
did your parents have a wine store?
No.
No.
They drank wine, but never had a wine store. I mean, we can talk about who's full of shit and all this, and at the end of the day, I guess they're multimillionaires, and we're three guys on a podcast. So, I mean, take it for what it is.
Don't underestimate the power of a podcast.
Maybe one day we'll look back at this and be like, yeah, at one time we were only three guys on a podcast. And now we're doing keynote speaking for $500,000 a piece.
No, I'd only do it for free. So we all look at
Mike's conscience is clean.
I've done a couple keynote things. I've done it for free, baby. There you go.
How long before the money breaks us apart, guys? The first time we get $1, are we going to start bickering? And that's the end of the Not Our Finest Hour podcast. We got $1.
We're all out, baby. Let's move on to a different question.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think we've touched on gurus enough.
Oh God. That people are going to be like, all these guys they're talking about Gary Vee, talking about the same thing all the time. All these guys talk about is fucking gurus. They're literally talking about gurus who talking about gurus too much.
Yeah.
Fucking motherfuckers.
All right. Monty_landscaping. Best target audience you think for ads?
55 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. The most money to spend for sure. I've rarely had a client my age spend more than 10 grand or 15 grand.
I think that's going to change very quickly because there's going to be a big, the baby boomers leaving their inheritance to their children. Mm-hmm. I think that we're going to be seeing a big shift. And I've actually just met somebody recently that had that happen. And now they want to do like $100,000 projects.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's going to change very drastically coming up.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
smart. I didn't think about that.
I agree. Are you talking like I? How specific do you want it to be? I've always had great success with single women, closing jobs with single women because I'm
Mike's on Tinder closing jobs.
Mike's greatest resource.
I no, I think
He
it's
just got a Bumble client. He's
Grinder. Oh no, that's
wow,
sorry.
single man.
I, I
Plenty of
think
fish. Mike's out there. Look at them all.
no,
A Craigslist here and there.
I think it's legit because I am a very low pressure salesperson. And I think that when single women call landscapers, they get a lot of high pressure salespeople
Right.
who are trying to force feed shit down their throat. Because I think that's just unfortunately how they get treated. But I have closed more jobs by telling people I really don't care whether you hire me or not. And
Mhm.
then saying that. Hire me, don't hire me. I've worked every day for 35 years and I'll work another 20 until I dig the hole they put me in.
Do you
Doesn't
say
matter.
that unprovoked, or do they ask you something like a leading question, like "Why should we hire you instead of the other guy that we're gonna have out," or some sort of question like that, or do you just
I
put that
I
out there?
I probably I've done this so long. I probably build towards it. Like
Okay.
I build it up and build it up, and then when I'm going to leave, I'll always say, "Hey, hire me. I want you to be comfortable. Your family has. You have to make the right decision for your family. You have to make these. We're going to be on your property. We're going to be on your property for potentially a long period of time. So you have to pick the contractor you're the most comfortable with being on your property. And I don't need to pressure you to sign anything because whether you hire me or whether you don't hire me, I don't really care. Someone else will. I'm always busy. I don't desperately need your job and I don't want to make your family uncomfortable. And then I leave. And then they call me and say, bring your contract.
We want the big guy with the chain.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I'm just saying how specific
He's
you want
gonna
to
make
be.
us the least uncomfortable.
How specific do you want to be? Like I I think last year we probably split 50-50 between people who were 35 to 45 and people who were 55 to 65.
Hmm.
I think I also do well with the older crowd because I don't pressure anyone and I don't give anyone a hard time. I'm not, anyways, I think that's, I have a different, I would, if I was looking for this year, would probably, um, because the younger crowd was at one time also more likely to borrow money and be knowing looking at it as an investment in their house, and then they're going to flip the house and they're going to get the money back, and so they're not worried about it because they're only going to live there for. I did a lot of projects in my life where people were like, "Yeah, we're only living here for another 2 years, and we need this done so that we can flip this house and we'll get this money back, and then we'll shove it into the next house because they're borrowing money at like 0%." But this year, I'd probably go with a bit older crowd for this season. If I was launching a Facebook campaign right now, I'd probably. Although the younger crowd just got COVIDed, so they got jammed in their house.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somewhere between 35 and 55. That's where I'm going. It's of no help to anybody.
I would find what works best for you, especially if there's certain areas that you can target, and you can target specific demographics and make different creatives for those demographics. So you could have different creatives, different videos. I would more so lean heavily towards, and actually create a different video for a 55 plus audience as opposed to a 35 to 45 audience, and try to pick out who you've worked for in the past, write down their demographics and what's really appealed to them, and then make videos surrounded by that, and then target those specific demographics with those different creatives.
Oh, that was awkward silence.
I didn't know if you guys had anything else you wanted to
Well,
say.
wait,
Should I go to the next question?
We're sitting around waiting for the next question. You dropped the mic on the answer for that, so
Okay. I didn't know if you guys
sitting
had
around waiting
anything
for the
else.
next question.
You've interviewed way more people than I've ever met as far as advertising and interviewing and all this stuff. Like, I'm not the guru for that question.
But if you haven't invested into SEO, I would invest into SEO. That's my last thing I'd say. So next question here. Okay, this is a good one. And I think actually we've addressed this in the past, but maybe we can quickly touch on it. Exclusive underscore Stoneworks. How many of you accidentally ended up in this industry and it became your passion?
Oh, yeah.
I think we all did.
everybody- Yeah. Nobody chooses this.
I'm jealous of. I've met people who went to school for landscaping and loved it from the beginning of their lives, and I'm always jealous of those people because I think that I ended up here because I didn't really love or have a big passion with anything. That
Yeah.
when my kids, both my kids, my dream for my kids is to be passionate about something and want to do it because I just never had it. That's how I ended up in landscaping, and I like machines.
Yeah. I mean, one of my workers has a horticulture certificate. So, I mean, I guess that means you like it enough to make it a career. But other than that, everyone I know has sort of fallen into this accidentally. Like I did it in high school and a bit in university and just came back to it because that was the best thing or the only thing I was great at. And then you fall in love with the money more than anything. And then, I mean, I shouldn't say that. I still love what I do every day, but I was watching. Do you guys remember the show Shameless?
Yeah,
Watch that one. So in one of the seasons, uh, there's this Indian guy who's married to this white girl, and they own a convenience store or something like that. And she's ragging on him or something, and he's upset. He's like, "I never wanted to own a convenience store." He's like, "I wanted to be a landscaper." I'm like, "Who the fuck says they want to be a landscaper?" Like, who the fuck has ever said I want to be a landscaper? But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, like now that I do it, I do love it. I really do. But
I think most people come into it from needing a job in high school, and then they start doing it, and they like working outdoors, and then they, I have a degree in advertising.
Yeah.
It's super helpful daily.
you
I always think
just
back
use
to
it
my
answer
days
the
at
last
I
question.
always think back to my days at college taking that advertising degree and think, man, it's helping me right now. I accidentally fell into this. I didn't, and then it even more accidentally fell into anything residential because I grew up doing commercial landscape. I didn't even know there was. I didn't even know you could work. I'd been in landscaping for like 10 years and didn't know you could work at someone's house. I didn't know that was a thing. Like I didn't even know people did that for a living. I thought people only planted trees on the side of the 401. Like I had no idea that you could, or people worked at like built parks. I didn't have. I had no idea. I probably worked in landscapes. I don't, because we did some driveways back in the day for a builder. But I thought that that's how landscaping. What like they were all brand new homes and they all got interlocked driveways.
Oh, it came with the house.
It came with the house. Yeah,
The
like
landscape
I didn't.
comes with the house.
Yeah, I don't remember the first. I don't know if I even remember the first residential job I ever was on. I should think about that. Like I didn't know. I can remember the when we went to some house. Like I remember a few times we went to houses to do work, and we were like, "What the fuck? This is not like." It didn't even feel like a job because you were standing in someone's front lawn, and we were used to like. I was used to like grading and sodding 50 front lawns, and we're like standing. I guarantee the first residential thing I probably ever did was like a favor to someone. Like a favor to an architect or a favor to like I don't remember it, but
I remember thinking it was so weird that I wasn't at the same place every day. Like just landscaping, like some days you're doing sod at this place, some days you're doing brick at another place. I thought it was so weird to be moving around for work. I'm like, how are people going to get a hold of me? How are they going to know where I am? Because this was cell phones were like barely a
Yeah.
thing, right? Like when you're 17 or whatever. And it blew my mind. Like, well, there's no like office that I'm at or no phone that people can get a hold of me. Like the boss could hardly get a hold of you. You know,
Yeah.
he dropped you off somewhere to go to work and then he fuck off and then expect it to be done whenever he came back and you're new, so you didn't know fuck all about anything. So
We used to page people and then stand by the payphone. Like the when I first started, like at the whatever at the I'm sure that when I first started, we probably had nothing. We used to call the office and then hope that someone who had an answer was there. But I remember when we had pagers, you'd like send someone a page and leave the payphone number and then just stand there
stand there and wait.
waiting for them to and but they could be driving in their car, it could be 2 hours, but you had to just stand there waiting for the phone to ring. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Wow.
And they
We
used to send us every like we'd go to like Hamilton.
we we did this job at a park in Rockland or something. Like it was not close to like an hour and a half or whatever from home. And they like he would drop you off at the beginning of the day or whatever, and you'd work. There'd be no toilet there, and if you had to go to the washroom, there was a bush, and that was it, right? So if someone had to go for number two, like all you had was the socks on your feet. So there was a couple days when I left without two socks to come home, and they're in the bush, like because there was no other option there. Like that was we didn't think of porta potties back then, and
No.
it was yeah,
Wow.
so you're stranded. But what was
Today
the question?
today
I forget. Go ahead,
it
Mike.
was how we fell into this business.
All right.
Oh yeah,
I
I
was
sometimes
thinking
wish that I had your experience working for a company actually, instead of like fully with a supplier, because I feel like I missed out on, I
yeah.
guess, some of those memories.
I'm sure there's
Like
supplier memories though, like when the guy is stuck in the mulch bin because of the geese.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just a different set of memories.
there's some good ones for sure.
different set of core memories.
It's
Yeah.
different set of today with the rain, it occurred like I was thinking about this podcast and I was thinking about there was pouring rain and it reminded me of one of those, and this is sort of pertinent because this would be one of those times where there was no phones. And so my buddy was working with me because he couldn't get a job, so he ended up with me. And the two of us got sent to Mississauga to like a condo build because we had sodded it the day before and dumped topsoil everywhere and driven machines everywhere. And so that the upper deck of the parking, like it's around the condo, but it's actually the upper deck of the parking garage, right?
Yeah.
Because you're working on the parking garage, but it's all grass and sod. So they said, go wash down the roads. So I was driving the water truck at that time. So I was like, oh, I'll just take the water truck. And so then no one gave a shit back then about whether or not you were opening fire hydrants or anything. So I said to my buddy, I said, just hook up the fire hose and crank it open on the fire hydrant. And the two of us we can get this done in 2 hours if we're using the fire hose. Like this is being fucking great. So we did it. And the condo was like, like there used to be a thing where people had to all move in at once. Like you couldn't have 2 floors of the condo occupied while they were still building 3 floors below. I don't know if they still do that shit. It was a long time
I
ago.
don't know.
Hmm.
I have no
And
idea.
so there's like no one there but us because it's kind of like the final it might have been a Saturday too. There's no one else on this site but us. We power wash it all. We before we go, for some reason something happened that caused me to go down into the parking garage. And at that moment, I realized all the catch basins in the parking and in the road in the parking area all drained into the first level of the parking garage into these big tubes and then went to the walls and then went down to the ground, right? I'm sure you've seen them in parking garages, like where
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
except that the weight of the dirt and water and the volume that we were putting into the catch basins had blown open every pipe in the parking garage, and the mud
shit.
was everywhere in the parking garage. And I remember looking at my buddy Loaf and going, "We out." Wrapped up everything because there was no security cameras back then either, right? I was just like, we're out of here, man. Wow. Nothing good is happening here right now. So we rolled up all the hoses and we left. And you come in Monday, and I knew nothing would happen Monday morning because, come in Tuesday, come in Wednesday, no one brought it up. That was the end of it.
Amazing.
That was the fucking end of it. Yeah.
Wow.
That was I remember being horrified. Like, oh man, we just got fired. Like, the parking garage is fucking trashed. Like, it was, I don't know. I was like, fuck, man, we just got fired for sure. Anyways, I guess we can go to next question. Maybe this is why people don't call me for coaching.